Over the last 3 seasons, UTSA baseball, under the tutelage of veteran coach Pat Hallmark, has moved forward by leaps and bounds. Back-to-back 38-win seasons and a move upward in the D1 baseball ladders to the American Athletic Conference with tough opponents like Tulane and East Carolina places UTSA in a great spot. In fact, the Roadrunners picked by experts for 3rd place in the American Athletic Conference in 2024. Welcome to beautiful new Roadrunners Stadium here on the campus of UTSA. I'm Mike Capps, Carl Schoening alongside. Today, the Roadrunners begin their first 24 test. This against UTSA. Solo game today, doubleheader tomorrow, and a single game on Sunday will tell the tale in these first 4 games in 2024. And we certainly hope you're planning on coming on out. Pat Hallmark has assembled a great young ball club. He's replaced some outstanding young men with some junior college transfers, some transfers from D1 schools. And today's starting pitcher for the Roadrunners, Carl, is a freshman. And his name is Robert Orlowski. He's a freshman from Middleton, Idaho, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Everything I hear from Pat Hallmark and his pitching coach, everything is outstanding. He's on a pitch count today of 85, so he's stretched out and may get to go 5-6 innings.
Yeah, how must it feel to be a freshman that obviously you kind of buried the lead a little? He was drafted by the Red Sox in the 20th round, and he decided to come to UTSA. So his reward is he gets to start on opening day. And, you know, to be a freshman who starts opening day, that's just obviously a high honor to award somebody. And, you know, when you lose a big arm like Luke Malone, who's been your consistent Friday starter, that's where you start with the question mark box, right? It's like, who's going to be our Friday starter? Well, Orlowski obviously seems to be on the right track to win that coveted starting Friday role.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, of course, we'll see. It's just day one. It is just day one.
We'll bury leads as they get buried, but that's the way it goes. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup. In Game 1, Clay Van Hook. He's the coach of the Texas Arlington Mavericks. He'll lead it off with the center fielder, Garrison Berkeley. Batting in the second spot, the second baseman, Ryan Black. Hitting third and right field, Tyson Pointer. The cleanup batter, the first baseman, Tice Armstrong. We might as well tell you, Clay Van Hook is a longtime friend of ours. His father and I have been friends for 40 years. And Clay says the top 4 in his order he'll put up against anybody. Hitting in the fifth spot, the catcher, Parker Earhart. Ryan Ellis plays in left field and bats 6th. Hitting 7th, Cade Sumbler. He'll DH. He's normally a catcher. Hitting 8th, the third baseman, Tate Bethel. And batting 9th, the shortstop, Jordan Medellin. And on the mound, Zach Norris, a 6'1 senior from Paris, Texas, by way of Paris Junior College. He was 2-2 last year. He led their team with a 4.63 ERA in 46 2/3 innings. 2-to-1 strikeouts to walks ratio. Upper third of the Mavs order, it's Berkeley, Black, Pointer. Middle third, Armstrong, Earhart, and Ellis. Lower third, Sumbler, Bethel, and Medellin. Pat Hallmark lines up his UTSA Roadrunners like this for Game 1. Leading it off, the second baseman, Isaiah Walker. Batting in the second spot, the left fielder, Caleb Hill. Hitting third, the third baseman, James Taussig. And hitting in the fifth spot, Mason Lytle. Lytle will play in center field. Alex Olivo, the DH, bats 6th. Mark Henning will play at first base and bats 7th. Hitting 8th, the catcher, Lorenzo Moresi, an Italian native. And batting 9th, the shortstop, Zach Spinn. On the mound, the aforementioned Robert Orlowski. Orlowski, 92-93 with a fastball. And it's going to be interesting to see how he proceeds in his first collegiate battle. But I have a feeling that the fact that, as Carl mentioned earlier, this young man drafted in the 20th round, which is sort of a so-so round. It's late, but drafted nonetheless. And that's got to give him a lot of confidence coming into the collegiate ranks.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is one of those things where we see college in perhaps the best shape it's been in terms of baseball.
I think
because,
that's right.
you know, it used to be, hey, you would take your chances being a 20th pick or 20th round pick, and then you would either go into Class A ball or maybe you would go to JUCO for a year to try and improve on that 20th round pick. But now I think that people see the quality of life is better here at the college level. The college game certainly doesn't have as many draft picks ever since they've lowered it from, I believe it went from 50 rounds a few years ago to 30, which, I'm very grateful for. Yeah, thankfully, because I think that obviously the college game is where these kids should develop, and I think it's a great opportunity for the NCAA game to take advantage of these sort of changes to the draft and all the things that might come with it, such as getting such talented arms like Orlowski here into UTSA.
It's going to be interesting to see how he proceeds. There's no doubt about it. It's also interesting to note when you look at the lineup for Pat Hallmark's team, the Roadrunners, some guys at the top just are outstanding. We're talking about Isaiah Walker. Walker played a little bit last year as a shortstop, as a second baseman and a center fielder. And Hallmark likes him in both spots. This is a kid that has tremendous speed. They're going to call on him to steal bases, be more active on the bases than he was last year. You look at the second spot, the left fielder, Caleb Hill, perhaps the most mature hitter on the team and a guy who's going to be in left field every single day, Pat Hallmark says, and he expects great things from Caleb. Caleb, of course, his dad played for 4 different teams in professional baseball. And what college coaches and any kind of coach wants when they see kids coming, if they know they have an athletic background like a former major league player, former minor league player, former collegiate player, that tells coaches a lot about who this kid is and what he could be. So Caleb Hill has it in his background. We cannot forget about the third hitter in the lineup, Matt King. What a season he had last year. Holy smoke. 318, had 6 homers, 58 driven in, a 918 OPS. And, the honors are already out for him. He's been picked as one of the top guys for 2024 in the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, and that's obviously, I believe you were talking about Caleb Hill. Sorry, we will, just to give everybody. Oh, you're talking about Matt King. Sorry, we will, just to preface the broadcast, eventually, hopefully, be leaving YouTube and going to the ESPN Plus broadcast. Yes. Our ESPN Plus producer just came in here and barked something out. I didn't quite catch what it was, but it made me miss that you were talking about Matt King. But, yeah, obviously, we were talking a little bit about Isaiah Walker starting at second, and that's obviously going to be the question of day one, at least, answering who's going to fill in Leighton Berry's shoes, because he's been filling those second base holes for a little bit while. Obviously, you talk about Caleb Hill in left field. That wasn't a question, and we're very happy to have him back here for the UTSA Roadrunners. And when it talks about Matt King moving over to third, replacing Antonio Valdez. He's obviously somebody who's really experienced up the middle, but obviously the hot corner is one of the first places you want to start your defense, and obviously all that experience at shortstop, rotating him over to third, I think that's a good spot there for him to start off the season, and that's just the rebuilding of college baseball. Every year you're going to have these questions to ask and answer.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the reasons they like Matt King at third is Zane Spinn, who'll play at shortstop, a 6'4" wiry guy. And Pat, talking to him about his team the other day, he said, I think this kid, before the season's over, is going to develop some raw power. And speaking of raw power, he's looking for his 6'6" right fielder, James Tossig, to do the same thing. And I am intrigued by this young man who transferred from Texas Southern, Alex Olivo. Not a big name, not a well-known name. Alex hit 379 in the SWAC last year. I don't care where you are collegiately. If you hit 379 and you homer 13 times and you have a 700-plus slugging percentage, that translates. And this guy could be huge. He's DHing. He's also a catcher, has played some first base. this guy could be huge when you in the overall scheme of things. I'm not saying he's going to tear it up. I'm just saying he's somebody I'm going to be really, really anxious to see develop here.
Well, it's a left-handed bat, which you obviously enjoy. A left-handed bat with some pop, which I think obviously is something that is a good sort of chess piece to have. You'll see him moved around defensively. As you said, he'll probably play some first, some catcher, and if nothing else, trying to establish himself in that role as a designated hitter. So obviously he starts today at DH, and he starts his Roadrunner career in a very important spot in Pat Hallmark's lineup.
He does indeed, and a quick a couple of notes about the top 3 or 4 in their lineup, the Mavs lineup. Garrison Berkeley, the center fielder, is a stud. Preseason all-WAC, was all-WAC tournament last year. Played briefly at TCU, but only sparingly. But he came to UTA last year and tore it up. 365 batting average, 976 OPS. That's tremendous numbers for any leadoff hitter. They want to see him steal more bases from that leadoff spot. He had 7 last year in 13 tries. Ryan Black, second baseman, they really loved. Led UTSA with a 336 batting average, had 7 homers, had 75 base hits. So these guys, the top of their order, Tyson Pointer and Tice Armstrong, all together, are absolutely tremendous. And it's going to be a real test for this freshman, Robert Orlowski, to face those first 4 guys, I think.
Yeah, and that's obviously what you're looking for, is to see how they do against the start of the order. And then, obviously, if it's good enough at the start of the order, you hope they do well against the bottom of the order, and then it happens all over again. No hitters, obviously, the goal here as we're talking about pitchers. But, the freshman gets thrown into the fire. UTA is a program on the rise. I was looking through some of their social media, and they had their first pitch dinner, and it was about twice the size as it was last year. This is a program that's really catching the attention of a lot of eyes up there in that DFW area, and they would love to get a start against this Roadrunner team that has emerged as a regional contender. They've been snubbed the last couple of years in the NCAA selection process, so they obviously have to prove something themselves, the Roadrunners are, but UTA trying to really establish themselves as a baseball power in that Western Athletic Conference.
Well, when you have a coach like Pat Hallmark, and to be quite honest about it, Pat and I have been friends since 2000 when he played in the Texas League. So I'm a little bit prejudicial when I talk about Pat Hallmark, but this is a guy who demands effort, demands top-flight performance, wants his kids to succeed desperately. 2 years ago, they were, 2 pitches away from going to the College World Series. Mm-hmm. So they have some things to conquer, and I think they know that. And that's going to be fun to watch. And I'm so excited. You and I are getting to do these games, number 1, and number 2, to see how this team develops and works. And it's just absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, exactly. Back-to-back 38 wins, as I said, first year in the American Athletic Conference, which you're going to see a lot of familiar faces that carry over from last year's Conference USA, also joining in conference realignment to the American. This goes from an 8-team baseball team league last year to a 10-team league this year, so obviously the increased numbers are going to maybe throw off the teams that are returning in the American, and it's going to be just a great year because you mentioned it. Pat Hallmark brings such intensity to the way he coaches that I think there's almost nothing but expected improvement on this roster.
Exactly.
We honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Cloudy skies in San Antonio, Texas. Temperature at 71 degrees as we get set to start the 2024 baseball season for the University of Texas at San Antonio Roadrunners. And we're watching the youngster, and I'm talking about youngster, 18-year-old from Middleton, Idaho, Robert Orlowski, tune up for his first ever collegiate start. 6'4" and 190, a freshman, of course. Will throw 80 to 85 pitches, depending, Pat Hallmark told us, on how he does. He's not going to allow him to get into too many scrapes. He wants him to be able to battle out. But if you watch him warming up, as we are here, he has some explosion on and finish to that fastball that is pretty spectacular, hides it pretty well, and it's going to be fun to watch. Defensively, they'll line up. We're talking about the Roadrunners with Matt King at third, Zane Spinn at short. Isaiah Walker plays at second base. Mark Herring at first for UTSA. Hill, Lytle, and tossing left to right in that Roadrunners outfield behind the plate. The Italian Lorenzo Moresi, and on the mound, Robert Orlowski. Home whites for UTSA. UTSA in dark blue on the front of the white shirt. Bright white shirts, bright white pants. They wear the blue hats with the orange bills and the interlocking orange UTSA on the crown of the hat. UTA, University of Texas, Arlington, is decked out in a powder blue that's somewhere between the Texas Rangers powder blue and the Seattle Mariners powder blue. They wear dark blue helmets and hats, and they have an A with a big star in the middle on the crown of their hat as we watch Garrison Berkeley, the right-handed hitting center fielder, stride to the plate as we get set to go. A 365 batter. Last year had 4 homers for UTA. Outfield straight up. Beautiful day, cloudy, and a little bit chilly. A little bit of a breeze at 71. First pitch on the way. That just breaks down and away, ball one. We're underway at 4:04 Central Time, and we're glad you are tuning us in. The wide and Orlowski's pitch. That dances off the outside. Pretty good-looking pitches. That's a very, very tight strike zone for Jeremy Johnson. He's behind the plate. At first, Trey Plummer, Brett Kohler at third. That pitch misses upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes, and I think what we're seeing here is a little bit of nervousness for a freshman in his first D1 start. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Nice little slider that whipped over the outside edge. Breeze blowing in and across from left to right here. 340 to right, 335 to left here. That's strike 2 call. Breaking ball just dancing off the outside, but it got a called strike. 400 to straightaway center field. The Roadrunner baseball scoreboard in left center field at the 375 mark. And we're surrounded, that pitch foul back, we're surrounded by this beautiful UTSA campus that's sort of halfway hill country and halfway desert. It's beautiful out here. It seriously is. Here's the 3-2. That's foul back. Nice at bat here by Berkeley. Was very patient, allowing those first 3 pitches to go by. Just a little bit of a test, I think, for the freshman.
The first 3 didn't miss much by Orlowski.
That's popped up. Little sinking fastball out toward center field. Mason Lytle jogs over, stands there, and puts it away. 1 out here in the first, no score. UTA Mavericks against the UTSA Roadrunners, and that'll bring on Ryan Black, their second baseman. This guy is a horse. Led UTA with a 336 batting average last year. 75 base hits. A left-handed stick, looks at 1 up and away, ball 1. He's only a sophomore. Had 24 multiple hit games for them last year. Here's the pitch. That dances inside, very tight at the belt. Takes the count to 2-0. So as we get set, as we get underway here, Orlowski really having trouble on the first few pitches to both hitters he's faced. That's laced into the right center field gap. They're not going to get to that one. That ball is up, and it is out of here. So Ryan Black, who had 7 homers last year, hits that one. Breeze had shifted around and blowing out toward right center. carried all the way between the 375 mark and 400. That's got to be a shot of close to 400 feet right there.
Yeah, you were saying it. Orlowski has not been missing the zone by that much on his 5 balls thrown through 2 batters. But, you know, down 2 balls, no strikes, he felt the pressure to really hammer the heart of that zone. And that pitch had a blinking light that said, hit me, to try and get that strike.
I haven't heard that in a while, but that's a good line. That pitch foul bagged by Tyson Pointer, another horse in their lineup. Senior from Dallas Jesuit by way of Odessa College. Right-handed batter looks at a breaking ball down. 1-0 UTA over UTSA as we play in the first inning here in San Antonio. The wind-in pitch by Orlowski. Breaking ball. Oh, yikes. That was close.
Yeah, you know, Orlowski's really trying to establish where that outside corner is, and it's been hit or miss so far.
That's a rocket shot foul. Got it in on his hands, and a good swing put on that one by Pointer. Pointer had 10 homers last year, drove home 51. Had a shoulder injury in 2022, so he had no fall, but came back with a vengeance last year for these guys. Here's a guy who hit 387 in JUCO out in Odessa. Deep right-handed crouch. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball over for a strike. You got to be swinging with 2 strikes, no matter where it is in the zone. That's the first collegiate punch-out for Robert Orlowski. 2 gone now, 1-0 UTA, and that'll bring on Tice Armstrong, their first baseman.
Orlowski responds to a home run given up with a strikeout. You got to love to see that from the freshman.
Well, he's got some stuff. Oh, nice little backup slider, catches the inner third for a strike. Armstrong, 354 last year. His mom was a national championship swing and a miss diver at the University of Texas, but his dad was an Olympic diver out of the University of Texas who's in the Longhorn Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Yeah, well, Texas is just a Team USA mini camp for swimming and diving.
That's it. That's a breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I don't know if you've ever been to Joe and Jamel Swim Center, but they spend a lot of time in the water over there.
Yes, they do. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The batter, Tice Armstrong. The pitch to him. Breaking ball. Ooh, that's so close. So close. Armstrong, sophomore from Magnolia High School, just to the north and a little bit west of Houston. That's down and away. Armstrong played in 24 games for UTA at first base last year. Hit 354. Robert Orlowski kicks and brings it. Swing and a miss. Chased a breaking pitch way up in his eyes. So 2 strikeouts in a row after the home run given up by Orlowski. 1 run, 1 hit, none left at the end of a half inning. UTA 1. Up comes UTSA in just a moment as you follow Roadrunners Baseball. One to nothing. University of Texas Arlington against UTSA as we go to the bottom of the first. Mike Capps and Carl. Carl.
You forgot my last name?
No, I didn't forget it. I was trying to build a little drama there. Carl Schoening, of course. No, I was honest to God. I didn't forget your name.
No. I'm just messing with you.
Good. Zach Norris, we're watching him finish his final warm-ups for his first start. 6'1" senior from Paris, Texas, by way of Paris Junior College.
UTSA, the second baseman.
Last year, so-so, 2-2, 43, 33 strikeouts, 17 walks, over 46 2/3. Isaiah Walker starts it out, looks at a backup slider for a strike. Walker's an impressive young man. Tremendous speed. We'll set the defense momentarily for UTA, the wind. Norris's pitch fouled way off to the right, now to play. Defensively, Tate Bethel at third. Jordan Medellin at short. Ryan Black plays at second base, and Tice Armstrong at first for the Mavs. Ellis, Berkeley, and Pointer. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt outside. Left to right in that UTA outfield. Parker Earhart behind the plate, and on the mound, Zach Norris from Paris, Texas. Outfield plays him slightly toward left. Deep right-handed crouch. Rocket shot into left field. That'll drop for a base hit. Cut off nicely by the left fielder, Ellis. Holding Walker to a single, but right back come the Roadrunners, down 1-0. One of the things that Pat Hallmark has mentioned to us a couple of times, he really wants to get the speed of Isaiah Walker working early this season and continue to become a bigger threat as we go along. And that can really help a young hitting team who has a bunch of new faces as Caleb Hill, the left fielder, stands in. We talked about him, what a season he had last year. A big rip and a miss, strike one. Defensively, as we said, behind the plate, Earhart, and on the mound, Norris. That's the defense for the UTA Mavericks. Here's the pitch. That's just below the knees. And that takes the count to 1-1. The next time I introduce you, I'll call you Carl Schoening. How's that?
No worries.
1-1 pitch foul back.
Usually I have a little bit more opportunity to talk, but this pitch clock has really kept these pitchers at a fast pace, which is obviously the point of the pitch clock, to keep the pace going in this game.
It is, and we've been using that in the Pacific Coast League for the last couple of years, and it does improve the speed of the game. That's a high pop-up out to left, easily handled by Ryan Ellis, who makes a one-handed stab. That's the first out for the Roadrunners. One gone, 1-0. UTA as we play here in the bottom half of the first inning. Matt King stands in. I'm looking for Matt King to have one whale of a season. Preseason American Athletic Conference team, all freshmen, Conference USA, 2 years ago. Right-handed batter. 318 last year, 507 slugging, throw to first not in time. Yeah, I see UTA has discovered what we've known about Isaiah Walker, that he's had tremendous opportunities to steal. Not much of a lead there yet. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball dances off the outside. But Walker can go, and he's in the head right now of Zach Norris, who's already thrown over there once. King, 6 homers, 58 driven in last year. Deep right-handed crouch for him. A rocket shot foul into the picnic area beyond the third base UTSA dugout. Matt King's one of these guys that I picked out last year as a real nose-in-the-dirt baseball player. That one way wide of the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. And a guy who just flat gets after it when he gets between those two lines. And that does so much for a team in a dugout or clubhouse. Throw back to first. Safe. Just back in with a head-first dive. I tell you, Walker was really thinking it over until that pitch was handled nicely by the catcher, Parker Earhart. Straight away outfield, 1-0. A solo home run by second baseman Ryan Black for UTA. Gave them the lead in the top of the first with 1 gone. Breaking ball, backhanded nicely by Earhart, moving to his right on his knees. That's very quick work by that catcher. And talking to Clay Van Hook, the coach, about Earhart, he has tremendous presence, Clay said, behind the plate. He'll share the catching duties with the guy who's DHing in game one, Cade Sumler. 3-2, that's foul back. Walker, he had a rolling lead when that ball got fouled back. The lead he had that ball hit the gap, he scores easily from first with his speed, but such was not the case. Slightly open from the right. As King stands, back line of the batter's box. Pumps the bat off his right shoulder. Here's the pitch. High pop-up. First baseman comes over on the infield grass and drops the baseball. They'll get the force at second base. So Tice Armstrong shanked it off the heel of his mitt.
First error of the day.
That's it.
Number 33, James Towsig.
James Towsig stands in as King's ending up on that error at first base. Left-handed batter at 6'6". Here's the pitch. Little bloop shot out towards second. Fielded on one hop and tossed to second base for the force that finishes off the Roadrunners here in the first. No runs, one hit, and none left. One inning done here in San Antonio at Roadrunners Park. Roadrunners trail it 1-0 to UTA. Fans in the San Antonio area, don't forget tomorrow we start a doubleheader at noon Central Time. And that should be some fun out here. Expecting nice weather. Maybe a little bit of chill in the air at noon, but we've had warm afternoons of late as we go to the second inning. A breaking ball hit high in the air to left center field. Back it goes. Back goes Lytle. That ball is up, and it's out of here. Parker Earhart, the catcher, first pitch swinging, drills it over the left center field wall. 2 home runs for UTA and a 2-0 lead over UTSA. No doubt about that one. Swinging at a breaking ball and lifted it out of here. The wind blowing out to right center field helped it as well, but they'll take these any way you can get them. So Orlowski throws that one down and into the next batter. That's Ryan Ellis, the left fielder. Transferred from St. Mary's, California. He was actually here in uniform last year when UTSA played them, swing and a miss, and had played some collegiate ball out in Santa Barbara with Pointer and said, hey, I want to come to UTA. So they did, and away he went. That's a grounder hit to second base. Ellis retired. 1 out now for Cade Sumler, the DH. This is a guy who'll do a lot of catching. They'll probably split it about 50-50. Sumler had a career-high 2 homers at the University of Houston in a game last March. That's a breaking ball. Floated over the outside edge, strike 1. Sumner 259 last year. Had 7 homers. The pitch, breaking ball, same spot. Doubled him up.
Orlowski's really starting to fight
curves.
that outside zone that he's been searching for, and he's getting that call now that he's really establishing it.
No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Whoa. Well.
Maybe he wasn't establishing it.
It's not missing by much, I'll tell you that.
None of his pitches have missed by much.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Came right back with a slider down. That's the 3rd punch out for Orlowski. 2-0. UTSA for Tate Bethel, the 3rd baseman. Bethel also, interestingly enough, is a reliever for UTA. 3rd baseman, shortstop at Blinn Junior College in Brenham. Looks at one over the inner third for a strike. Has played for Blinn in the JUCO World Series. Here's the pitch. That's fouled off to the right. That's been a storied junior college program for years and years and years. Leroy Dreyer, the longtime coach, has since passed. His son Jimmy was a great scout for the Padres and others. Also passed away a few years back. Breaking ball down. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tate Bethel.
Yeah, Blinn Junior College might as well be Texas A&M's farm system as their perennial powerhouse as well.
That's fouled off to the right. Nice park there at Blinn.
And I'll tell you what, if you haven't been out to the new Bluebell Park that is at Olson Field, the Texas A&M,
Yes.
just one of the nicest ballparks you'll see in the country at
It
any
is.
level.
No question. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Hammer to right field. Racing over. Taussig gets there. Hauls it in for the out. And that'll do it for the UTA Mavericks here in the 2nd inning. They score 1 run on 1 hit. The Parker Earhart first home run of the season and none left. 1.5 done in San Antonio. UTSA trails UTA 2-0. Bottom half of the 2nd inning, Mike Capps, Carl Schoening alongside. Schoening.
I know you know my name. We've known each other for a long time.
That's right. Down 2-0. Roadrunners will send Mason Lytle up to the plate looking at strike 1. Lytle from Pearland by way of San Jacinto Junior College and the University of Oregon. Slender right-handed batter, feet close together, fouls that one off to the right. And look out on the soccer fields off to our right. 2 strikes on Lytle. Next pitch to him, misses down and away. 2-time all-conference player at San Jacinto. That's another storied Texas Junior College program.
The great Augie Garrido, correct? 20 years there, I believe.
Wayne Graham.
Wayne Graham, yes.
Wayne Graham. Went on to Rice. Breaking pitch over for a strike. So that is the first Norris punch out. 1 gone in the 2nd inning, 2-0. UTSA trails UTA. And that brings up Alex Olivo. We talked about him in the pregame. Straightaway outfield looking in. Deep left-handed crouch. Swings and misses strike one. Boy, Norris dialed that one up a notch. A 700-plus slugging percentage for Texas Southern last year for this big kid. That's a strike. You had a fellow named Bragg Stockton who went on to coach at TCU there in the late 60s, early 70s. 2 straight strikeouts now as Olivo strikes out looking. And that brings up Mark Henning, the first baseman. Then you got Wayne Graham. And it's just gone on and on and on.
You're such an encyclopedia. You've forgotten more about baseball than I'll ever know.
Well, you've accused me of that many times. That pitch over for a strike. And I appreciate it, but we got to remember, I played Texas JUCO ball back before they invented infield dirt. Here's the 0-1. Rip and a miss, strike 2. Boy, Norris has come out firing rocket shots here at UTSA. Teammates have staked him to a 2-0 lead on 2 solo homers. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fouled it back. And, you pick up that kind of – think about the basketball, football, and baseball your dad knows.
Oh, he knows a lot.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hey, a little sinker down and away.
He hasn't
Off
written
speed.
books like you.
Well, but that was just to keep me off the streets. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The wind and the pitch. Hammer to center field. Racing over. Berkeley runs it down. And 1, 2, 3. Go the Roadrunners here in the second inning. No runs, no hits, none left. We're headed to the third inning here in San Antonio. A 2-0 lead for University of Texas at Arlington over UTSA. You're following Roadrunners baseball. Robert Orlowski has finished his warm-ups for inning number 3. Mike Capps and Carl Schoening alongside. 2 solo home runs. A 1-out solo home run by the second baseman Ryan Black in the first inning. And a leadoff solo shot by the catcher Parker Earhart led off the second. As we go to the third, 9-1-2. Medellin, Berkeley, and back to Black. In this third inning, a breaking ball settles in over the outer third, strike 1. Medellin comes highly advertised as a baseball player. His dad, that's laced into the left center field gap over to cut it off. Comes Mason Lytle, so Medellin in the 9-hole comes up with his first hit. And the third hit given up by Robert Orlowski. And so back to the top we go for Garrison Berkeley. 2-0 UTA in game 1 of 4. Doubleheader baseball noon tomorrow if you're in the San Antonio area. Big over-the-top breaking ball catches the outside edge, strike 1. Stop in here at Roadrunners Field. This is a nice little place. It's a beautiful AstroTurf setting and brand new seat backs as they're slowly but steadily putting a great little ballpark together here. That pitch misses up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Berkeley had 35 driven in last year. Slender right-handed batter. Orlowski's pitch fouled off to the right. Orlowski could care less that he's given up a couple of home runs. He is in a battle. He just continues to pour on the gas, and I understand now why Hallmark and his coaches are really excited about this kid. Here's the 1-2. That's in the dirt. Nice job by Moresi, as he kept that base runner in check. Medellin, not much of a lead at first. Orlowski deals. That's a soft liner hit into center field, but right at Mason Lytle, who puts it away for out number 1. Off the bat, Carl, I thought that ball had a chance to drop, but it just kept hanging up there. Plenty of air under it, and Berkeley ran under it for the first out here in the third. That brings up Ryan Black, who hit a solo homer with 1 out in the first. Double play depth infield for UTSA. That one misses wide and low. 1 ball to no strikes. Black looks like a baseball player, doesn't he? I mean, just tightly wound. Here's the pitch. Ooh. Nice little slide piece. Just misses inside. 2-0.
Baseball players come in all shapes and sizes now, Mike. But I know what you mean. I understand.
Telling you. Here's the pitch. It's over the inside edge. But if you were to outfit one in a uniform, this is about as good as it gets. I mean, this kid looks the part, and he sure is a player. Here's the pitch. That's ripped down the left field side. It's going to drop and roll. Rounding second, heading to third. Comes Medellin. They're going to wave him to the plate. And let's see if there's a play at the plate. No, it gets away, bounces back to the screen. And the throw down to third, not in time. So an RBI double by Ryan Black. He drives in his second run, and that turns this into a 3-0 lead for the UTA Mavericks. The throw, advancing on the throw to third. Or the throw home, Black, and up steps Tyson Pointer. 3-0. Runner at third and 1 out. That one in the dirt. Nice smother job by Lorenzo Moresi. So another run's in. Right-handed matchup. That bounces away, and a run's going to score. That'll be a wild pitch. Ryan Black went into a dive, and that's an AstroTurf cutout around home plate, and he just stopped.
Yeah.
Nothing slid.
And Morrissey thought that it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to get in there. So obviously it was one of those situations where he maybe, if he had turned around a little bit quicker, would have realized that.
Breaking ball just misses wide, 3-0. So 2 runs are in. It's 4-0 now. That one misses low, ball 4. So Orlowski with his first walk issued. In collegiate baseball, and that'll bring up Trace Armstrong. Four nothing. Here's the set and the pitch. That's in the dirt. Moresi did a nice job coming up with that one. I think it bounced up from his mitt, and I think he thought it was going to get away, but he managed to handle it. Boy, a ground ball and a double play, and out comes Pat Hallmark to try to settle Orlowski down. There's no activity in the bullpen. The temptation for a coach, an inexperienced coach, in a situation like this is to let this kid work himself out of this jam. And since nobody's up, I got to think this is a pep talk from Hallmark, just trying simply to slow him down a little bit. Orlowski we're talking about, and give him a little chance to breathe.
And I think Orlowski's really, the first couple innings there didn't really let the pitch clock go below 10. And when you don't have that kind of time to recover your energy systems, I won't go into the biology lesson of how our body creates energy, but
go ahead.
Maybe if we didn't have a pitch clock, right? But in this particular case, I think you see him getting a little bit more tired quickly. This is a different level of pitching that freshmen have obviously never experienced.
Yes, it is. That's a great point you make. 4-0 Mavericks. As UTSA trying to get out of this jam, a ground ball on a double play would take a lot of pressure off the young right-hander Orlowski. That pitch misses upstairs, takes it to 2-0. Saying hello to our sweetheart and wife, Karen, who has us tuned in Austin.
Your
breaking ball. Yeah.
Wife. I thought you said ours. Okay.
No.
Just want to make sure.
Our meaning mine.
Yes.
2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch. High pop up to right center field. Racing over. And making the grab comes Lytle. Boy, he got a great jump on that and really got there quickly. 2 out now for Parker Earhart, who homered to start out the second inning. It's 4-0. UTA as we play here in the top half of the third. So Zach Norris, the starter for UTA, has been nails. Here's the pitch. Did he go with the hands? Yes, he did. Very vehement signal by the first base umpire that time. Trey Plummer, very nicely done on the part of that umpire. Here's the 0-1. That breaks over the outside edge, and Earhart, the catcher, says, "You what?" Infielder's back. Outfield straight up. The pitch. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Got him. Nope. Dropped the baseball, apparently. Nice jump by Pointer. Pointer was only 3 for 3 on the bases last year, and talking to Clay Van Hook as he was riding down on the bus from Arlington yesterday, he wants Pointer more involved in the running game, just like Pat Hallmark wants Isaiah Walker. That pitch misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And in this pitch clock era, I think that stolen bases are going to become a lot more relevant, a lot more common, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, that's the great point, and I think you're right. That's a high fly ball, hit to right. Over comes Tausig, and he puts that one away. But the damage done. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 left. 2.5 in the Bucks from San Antonio. Roadrunners trail the Mavericks 4-0. Bottom half of the third inning. UTA Mavericks lead UTSA's Roadrunners 4-0. Mike Capps and Carl Schoening alongside. And out for his third inning of work, Zach Norris, who has really punished hitters so far, surrendering only 1 base hit over 2 innings, striking out 2 along the way. 2 of those, both strikeouts in the second inning, and a 1-2-3 second. It'll be Moresi, the catcher, spin, the shortstop, and back to the top for Isaiah Walker. Time to get the motor running for the Roadrunners. Moresi, left-handed batter, big-time player at New Mexico Junior College. Looks at a breaking ball over the outer third for a strike. Moresi is a freshman. Hit 341. 363 as a sophomore. That bounces away. Evens it up at 1-1. Check out the OPS from his sophomore year. 1.089. That's some kind of hitting and some kind of pop and some kind of on-base percentage all rolled into one. That pitch misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. And you say, well, New Mexico, that's bounced down toward first. Backhanded nicely. Armstrong takes it to the bag himself. And that's the first out of the inning. And that's 5 in a row retired now by Norris, who's on a big roll here for Zane Spin. I don't care if you get over 900, over 850 really in the OPS, on base percentage and slugging. You're doing some swinging of the bat. Left-handed batter, deep crouch. Spin at 6'4" and 210. Here's the pitch. That one grabs the outside edge. 1 strike to count. And another guy hits from a deep left-handed crouch, almost open. That's bounced down towards short. Waist-high hop, guns to first, and spins out. That was a heck of a throw by Medellin, who put a little extra on it, and that ball almost sailed away.
Yeah, routine, but you got to shake the rust off. Obviously, these guys have been practicing, but nothing quite like the real game. But, you know, that defense has been keeping things solid behind Norris, last year's team leader in ERA. And so far, through 2 2/3 pitched, only allowed 1 hit.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Back to the top, Isaiah Walker has UTSA's only hit as he fouls that one back to the padded wall behind home plate. Strike 1. Outfield shades him ever so slightly toward left. Here's the pitch. That breaking ball is over for a strike. Norris saying, in essence, to Orlowski, you want to throw a curve to the outside edge? Watch this. Here's the 0-2. That's smacked into right field. Drifting back goes the right fielder. And Pointer onto the warning track puts it away. And 1, 2, 3. Go the Roadrunners here in the third. No runs, no hits. We're headed to the fourth, and Carl Schoenig for 3 big innings. UTSA down 4-0.
Top of the 4th inning between the Roadrunners and the Mavericks. It's a 4-0 lead for UTA as they look to add on to their lead.
You forgot to let me introduce you.
Hey.
I had a great introduction.
Oh, you did? All
yeah,
right.
I'll just do it in the bottom of the end.
6, 7, 8 hitters, Ellis, Sumbler, and Bethel due up here against Orlowski, who is remaining on the mound for the Roadrunners, and he sends a first pitch low for ball 1 right there, or excuse me, ball 2 as the scoreboard says, the 0-2. And a strike across the knees for the first strike here in the top of the 4th. And you know, talk about that pitch count. You said something there. You made a little bit of a joke, and I missed a pitch. That's how quickly Orlowski and this pitch clock have been moving here, as a grounder will get into right field and be a leadoff single here in the top of the fourth for Ellis. As the six-hitter, left-handed batter gets aboard. The junior is now 1 for 2. Ellis had previously grounded out to second. This time he finds his way into right field, and that'll set up Sumber.
Not trying to put any pressure on you, but I couldn't get any runs for UTSA, so you got to come through.
Right middle third here as the Roadrunners try and work their way back in. It'll start with Orlowski getting a swing and a miss strike there to the second plate appearance here. Sumbler struck out swinging back in the second. Trying to advance Ellis, who sits at first. Check swing pulled back, but it'll still be called strike 2 as Orlowski hammers away at that strike zone. And obviously that's a key feature to Pat Hallmark pitching staffs, is the ability just to hammer away at the strike zone, as Orlowski working out of the stretch, set at the belt. 0-2. Outside, waste pitch goes to waste.
The other thing that really stood out to me last year about Hallmark's team was their ability to come from behind. We saw come from behind wins 2 or 3 times out here in the 8 times that I did games with you. And I just thought that's...
Sumbler, the DH, swing and a miss on a high fastball, and that'll be the first out here in the top of the fourth. 1 away, and that'll bring up Bethel.
It says a lot about what's going on in the minds of your hitters and everybody else on that bench. They're not giving in, and that's one of the things, that's one of the life lessons you learn from baseball. But it's also so integral to a good baseball team.
One of the great Yogi-isms, it ain't over until it's over, as the first pitch here to Bethel finds the lower third on a sinker. That'll be strike 1. Pitch started in the zone, and by the time across the plate, it was a little low. So good eye there, but still a better pitch. And the 0-1 misses high. So even up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. 4-0 lead here for UTSA over UTSA in the top of the fourth.
One of the things that Pat and his coaches must be really proud of involving Orlowski.
Here's a grounder that'll get into left field as it splits between King and Spin. That'll advance Ellis to second, and Bethel gets on with the base hit, his first of the day after lining out in the left in the second.
Is this kid has, quite honestly, been pummeled pretty good here early. And yet, you don't see him shaking at all. And if he is, he's really hiding it well. I'll tell you that. That's to his credit. But this is a different level than he's accustomed to pitching.
Well, he gave up a home run, and he followed that by getting a strike as the first pitch here to Medellin, who came around to score off of a single back in the third, is fouled off. He's down 0-1.
Yeah, he got 2 straight strikeouts after that first home run.
Yeah, bounced back.
That's telling you what he's about.
He was thrown into the fire, though, obviously getting the start against UTA.
Yep, no doubt.
0-1 inside.
And Pat said that yesterday when we were talking to him on the phone. We got to find out.
Hey, and what a talent he is. And obviously, I think conference is really when the games start to matter, and this is going to be a very important non-conference season as he's working out of the stretch with 2 runners on and delivers a strike that'll catch Medellin off guard. The 9th hitter in the order, right-handed batting sophomore, batting from the left side right now.
Well, of course he is, because he's at so many new players.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes in college baseball, you only have to replace a few. Sometimes you have to replace a lot. This is one of those years where he has to replace a lot, as counts now 1-2 after Medellin fouls it off down the first baseline. Top of the order, Berkeley licking his chops with runners at first and second, hoping that he comes up to a good opportunity set up by Medellin. Roadrunners hoping for that pitcher's best friend, a double play. 1-2. Just a bit upstairs. Ooh, didn't miss by much. And we mentioned that Orlowski hasn't missed by much. He has a few pitches that he wishes he had back, obviously, but he certainly has shown off some of his stuff. But so far, it's the left-handed batters I think have been giving him an issue the most tonight. Or today, I should say, as a swing and a miss on a low pitch will be strike 3 and out number 2. So 2 out, 2 on, back to the top of the order, Berkeley.
That's his 5th strikeout, and it was a dandy change. The bottom just completely fell out of, and way out ahead of it was Medellin.
Berkeley is 0 for 2 today. As he'll pause real quick, and it looks like an arm is warming up in the bullpen. I don't think Orlowski's necessarily going to come out right away, but Pat Hallmark's buying that arm a little bit of time to loosen up. And it does look like the Roadrunners will be subbing in Ryan Beard. The junior pitcher seems to be done with his warm-ups. He'll get a quick stretch in, and he'll be dealing with the top of the order, Garrison Berkeley. As Pat Hallmark will give some words of encouragement to Orlowski, who you don't shut the book on him because he's still responsible for Bethel and Ellis, who are on 1st and 2nd. But so far, Robert Orlowski, 3 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs. 2 of them were earned, walked a batter, struck out 5, gave up 1 double and 2 home runs in 18 batters faced. And Ryan Beard will take the ball. The upperclassman will relieve the freshman, and we'll take a quick break here on Rowdy Creative's YouTube. 2 outs, top of the 4th, 4-0 UTA over UTSA. Our first pitching change of the day, as Ryan Beard will get a few more warm-up pitches in. We'll step aside here on Rowdy Creative YouTube.
Right-hander Ryan Beard we saw quite a bit of last year, San Antonio native. Beard 5'9" and 175 from San Antonio Reagan last year in a Roadrunners uniform. 4-2, 19 appearances, 4 starts, a 4.50 ERA. Worked 34 innings, gave up less than a hit an inning. One of the things that Pat Hallmark has stressed about Ryan Beard, he wants more strikeouts, fewer walks. 28 strikeouts, 23 walks in 34 innings. At this level, you really need to shoot for at least 2-to-1 strikeouts to walks. And Pat is convinced that Beard can do that. Now, he's a diminutive guy in terms of pitchers. He's 5'9" and 175, but you won't see much better stuff from many guys 5'9", better than Ryan Beard has. And you know, it's becomes a game between the ears. When you have that kind of arm, you have velocity, you can move it around a little bit. I'm looking for big things from him this year. He's a personal favorite because guess what? I'm 5'9" and not quite 178, but that's
Beard certainly hopes this is a big year for him as well, as he is tasked with taking out Garrison Berkeley, who fouls off the first. Oh, I believe he did not foul it off, so that'll allow the runners to advance to 1st and 2nd. The umpire gets out of the way. I thought it was out of his own safety, but that'll allow Bethel to advance to 2nd and Ellis to 3rd. So 2 runners in scoring position for the team leader in runs scored last year, Berkeley, who finished with 60 runs scored, and team leader in batting percentage and doubles for UTA. Today, Berkeley 0 for 2, flew out to center, both the 1st and the 3rd. He sends this one into deep left field, and this one will be over the fence and gone. A 3-run shot for the first hit of the season for Berkeley, and that'll bring in Bethel and Ellis to add on 3 runs to the UTA lead. 7-0 now, Mavericks over the Roadrunners.
Well, wow. 2 of those runs charged to Orlowski, of course. So he'll go 3.2 innings, 3 2/3, 6 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 4 punch outs, a walk, and he leaves as the pitcher of record on the losing side. Berkeley hit it a ton.
Yeah, Berkeley obviously knew that substitution was mostly made for him, as now at the plate, Ryan Black sees the first pitch for a ball. Black has scored twice, a home run back in the first just to open up the scoring, and a double that brought in a run, and he came around to score himself in the third. Beard steps onto the rubber, and the 22nd pitch count starts. 1-0 to Black. This is inside.
I don't know if you noticed, but UTA is picked in the middle of the pack in the WAC. I got to tell you, this looks better than middle of the pack team to me.
Certainly a great start for them, as Beard will clip Ryan Black here, and Black will toss away his bat and take his free 90 feet the hard way on that 2-0 pitch. Now 2 outs and a runner on in a 7-0 ball game. 3 runs already across here in the top of the fourth. Roadrunners only an out away, but now that'll bring up Tyson Pointer, the third hitter in the order, right fielder. 0 for 1 today. He struck out looking in the first, and he reached on a walk in the third, where he was left on at second. Trying to keep this top of the fourth going, as the pitch will get away from Morrissey and be ball 1 from Beard here to Pointer. Black will take his lead. Away from first, and Beard has his sign. 1-0. Swung on, grounded it between short and third, and getting to left field. And the hitting parade continues here for UTA.
Second hit given up by Beard. Okay, I don't want to hear any people texting me that we jinxed Beard coming into the game, because that doesn't happen. I don't buy those things. But
no, we're not dealers in superstitions up here.
No, sir. And plus, we're what, 10 feet above the field level. So
Tice Armstrong takes a strike on his first pitch from Beard, dealing with runners at first and second. 2 outs. Beard trying to keep this damage minimal after a Berkeley 3-run shot to left center field that brought in 3 runs. 0-1. Misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Beard to Armstrong. And if anything we do does have an effect on the players, I think you and I should look into some NIL money.
I'm telling you, that's yes.
We're the people who jinx reality, as the 1-1 is a swing and a miss on a pitch that was way inside, and now down 1-2 in the count is Armstrong. As top of the fourth, 2 outs, 2 on.
Oh, there we go.
Here's a grounder that'll be hit to short, backhand by Spin, and then he loses it off the tip of his glove. Black will be waved in from second. Sliding into third is Pointer, and Armstrong will bring in a run. He'll represent the runner on the corner at first, as Pointer's at third for Earhart, who comes to the plate, and 4 runs across here in the top of the fourth for UTA. It's 8-0.
There was a player that played for us with the Round Rock Express in the Texas League years ago, and it was a bonus baby. I interviewed him after he had his first 4-hit night in the Texas League. Next night he goes 0 for 1 at batting practice. The next day he says, "I'm never going to do an interview again. You jinxed me." I said, "Okay. Here's my cell phone. I want you to call your father. You got a $2.2 million bonus. Have him write me a check for 1.1. I'll get you 4 for 4 every night if you believe in that."
Why do you think I said what I said? I know that story.
I just wanted to remind you of it. I know I told you to you before, but we won't go into the player's name. He's still active.
Oh, wow. Good
Not
for
as
him.
a player. He's,
okay.
He's a broadcaster. But
Parker Earhart at the plate. Down a ball, no strikes, and he sees the strike hit the outer half of the zone here from Ryan Beard, who's trying to get out of this inning, where he came in relief for Robert Orlowski. Pointer at third, Armstrong at first, who they officially say reached on an error, and an unearned run scored by Black as a strike is delivered here by Beard. He's a strike away from ending the top of the fourth. Throw over to first, sliding in safe is Armstrong, as Beard wouldn't be too opposed to getting it out that way. Anyway, out number 3 comes for the Roadrunners in this 4-run top of the fourth for UTA. Pointer dancing at third, and Pitch low and away, had to be stopped there by Morrissey, and ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Beard fires into pitch, and it's lined into left field. That'll bring in Pointer from third. Armstrong will advance to second, and Earhart gets the RBI single to make it 9-0. And just a hitting parade put on here by UTA. 9 runs on 9 hits, 5 runs across the plate here in the top of the 4th.
Well, we said going in, we knew that UTA was a hitting ball club, but boy, they've proven it in spades here through 3+ innings.
Now at the plate, Ellis, who started things off here in this 4th inning. They've batted around, and pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. As Beard delivered a strike here as I was introducing Ellis. Set at the belt. Runners at first and second. Here's the 1-1. And it finds the low outside corner for strike 2. So Beard once more is strike away from getting out of the inning. One way inside and evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, I got to brag on this new press box we had up here. It was cold last year down there. Outdoors, remember?
Oh, yeah. No, I remember. And it's nice being inside. Here's the 2-2 swung on and sent deep into right field. And it'll be caught on the run. And that'll end the top of the 4th inning as Taussig was able to chase it down at the belt. But plenty of damage done as 5 runs come across the plate for UTA. 5 hits and an error with 2 runners left for UTA. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning. 9-0 Roadrunners have their work cut out for them as the Mavericks lead here on opening day. Two, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Roadrunners in the bottom of the 4th inning as UTA added on 5 runs to their lead in the top half of this frame. The Roadrunners trying to get something rolling here as a team. They are a combined 1 for 10. Mavericks have lapped them and a little bit more in the batting opportunities. They are 9 of 22. Hill 0 for 1. He flew out to left. King and Taussig also 0 for 1. So Norris has done a good job keeping the Roadrunners from getting anything going as Walker got the game's only hit for UTSA in that bottom of the 1st.
Well, it's I didn't expect this big a shellacking.
Norris out of the mound. The righty will deliver, and it'll be fouled off by Hill, who at least timed the pitch right. And, you know, UTSA, obviously a team that prides themselves on their hitting, trying to get it going here in the home opener and opening day. This time Hill sees a pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, nobody on here as we're starting the bottom of the 4th. And the 1-1 also outside is Earhart. Had to reach a little bit. Keeping things fast, Norris sends in the 2-1 with only 5 seconds off the pitch clock, and you can't find that low outside corner, so 3 balls and a strike here. Swing if you like kind of pitch for Caleb Hill, left fielder for the Roadrunners. Does like it, but he cuts through for strike 2.
You got to love the work Zach Norris is doing here. He's not the fastest pitcher you ever saw, but boy, has he hit spots well early.
Payoff pitch, swung on and sent in the left center field. A lot of air under this one, but it'll be caught just in front of the warning track by Berkeley for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Berkeley showed you right there why he's their center fielder. He had a tremendous jump on that, but the overall speed is what helped him as well. He just got there so very quickly, and the left fielder, Hill, had no chance, or Ellis had no chance. Fortunately, Berkeley ran it down.
Matt King, the third baseman for UTSA, steps in now. 1 out, nobody on. Check swing pulled back as the pitch misses low and away from Norris. King reached on a fielder's choice and was left on at first, back in the first. The 1-0. Catches the outer half of the zone barely.
Yeah, it did.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out now as King steps back in. Lines this right back at Norris, who takes some damage off of his side, and then rotating over, Armstrong will have nobody cover first, and King will, well, that's one way to get a base hit, and he hit it right back to the pitcher who has had such a good outing. Norris needs a moment to collect himself.
Well, he does, and they're going to come out and check him. Obviously, trainer and coach, Clay Van Hook. This is a very important man for UTA all year. They cannot afford to have him sidelined, and he's going to maybe throw a warm-up or 2.
Yeah, it went off of his kind of oblique rib cage area.
I thought so, too. I thought that was exactly where it was.
They'll get, yeah, like you said, they'll give him some warm-up pitches here just to kind of feel it out. Motion seems pure enough as he got the first one out.
Either you or I out there take a shot like that. If I'd thrown the next from the pitch that he threw, you could have heard me scream to downtown San Antonio.
Oh, no, I was really surprised that he was able to shake that off so well. They only give him 1 pitch, or at least that's all he's needed here, as now James Tausick comes to the plate. 1 out, 1 on. Roadrunners trail by 9-0. Here's Norris will deliver his strike across the knees for his first pitch after taking a line drive off of the side.
See, I would have needed probably a shot of morphine right into the injury itself, some aspirin to chew on.
The 0-1 fouled off. You'd be out for a good month.
6 weeks.
6 weeks at least.
Oh, yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes here to Tausick. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the first and was left on.
I'll call you when I'm ready. How's that?
Yeah, well, you know, game day by day. We'll take it day to day. We're all
go.
day to day anyway. Swinging on an inside pitch, jammed, and was able to get it into right field. That'll send King around second to third, and Tausick trying to get something rolling for the Roadrunners here. Bottom of the 4th, runners on the corner, set up here for Lytle.
Yeah, and you know what was a nice job of hitting by James Tausick. We saw him briefly last year, maybe 5 or 6 games, maybe more. But I thought he had a very sweet swing, and he's going to get some playing time. And if he continues to hit, he's going to be in there just about every day, would be my guess. I mean,
that would certainly be Pat Hallmark's hope, is that he finds an everyday starter. Lytle watches the first pitch miss low for ball 1 here as he struck out looking back in the second. He's 0 for 1 today, the 5th here in the order. Hoping to advance Tausick, who sits at first, and King wants to be brought home 90 feet away at third. The 1-0 fouled off into the intramural fields and evens up the count at a ball and a strike with an out.
Well, you're not even halfway through the game yet. You can still come back here. This is possible.
A lot of ball game left,
yes.
Of course. Oh,
yes.
yeah. Roadrunners now 3 of 13. Low and away, and a nice slide there by Earhart to make sure that ball doesn't get past him and allow King to score from third. 2 hits, for UTSA here in the bottom of the fourth, trying to capitalize. Lytle. This one's grounded to short, and it'll be bobbled by Bethel, and not in, just in time to get Tausic on his way to second. But King does score from third, and Lytle will get the RBI, and the Roadrunners are on the board. 9-1, UTA with an 8-run advantage here in the bottom of the fourth. Well,
I'm telling you.
No comeback started without one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Cappy, I'm going to allow you to take over right here as I try and figure out what we're doing.
Oh. We're doing a baseball game as the first pitch dances down and in to the next batter up, and that is Alex Olivo, who struck out looking his first time. 1 ball and no strikes as that one's fouled back to the left and out of play. 1-1. 9-9-0 UTA. 1-3-2 Roadrunners. Here in the fourth inning, big, deep left-handed crouch. The pitch on the way, right over the outside edge. 1-2. Norris took a line shot off his oblique. 2 batters that go, and I'm telling you, he's throwing very, very well since. The set at 1-2 and a pitch. That's fouled off to the left and segueing back to you.
Good news, bad
what are we
timing.
Gonna do?
Yeah, hey, we're live on ESPN Plus. So all they need us to do is to end this YouTube stream. So if you are listening right now, go to ESPN Plus for the conclusion of this broadcast. And I just need to do some audio engineer work, and we can see if the Roadrunners can continue this rally on ESPN
So you would like for me to
Plus.
continue to talk?
Well, we'll still talk.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 got him. So, side retired here in the fourth inning. A run on a couple of base hits and 1 runner left. We're headed to the fifth.